Welcome to an incredible journey with internationally renowned lawyer of attraction, Paula Kidd Casey. Applying the skills gained over 40 years of practicing law, Paula uses facts, logic, and science to prove the validity of the law of attraction. Join Paula each week as she explores unique concepts, allowing you to rediscover the wisdom of the ancient masters, all while weaving in the science that proves magic really does happen. If you yearn for a life change or want to rediscover your passion, then share the path with Paula and begin to love your journey every step of the way.
Hello, this is Paula Kidd Casey, and welcome to my show, The Law of Attraction, on the Law of Attraction Radio Network. I'm happy that you're here this week. I have a great show lined up. It's someone I have not known before, but he's one of those people that you go, oh my gosh, I feel like we have known him forever. He has a wonderful background. He went from a rock star to a big-time DJ, to a professional hypnotist on stage, to teaching the power of the mind. And he does it to huge groups. He is so much fun. He'd be fun just as a rock star, let alone he's got all this other information. His name is Jimmy Graham. He goes by JimmyG. And he has a new book out called Master Your Matrix, which is available on Amazon. But he is so much fun. He understands how that we have to use our conscious mind to make conscious decisions to decide we're going to take our lives to the next level, which is what we talk about, which is what we know that we need to do. And he has some great ideas for us to do that. So I want to welcome JimmyG, and we will be right back with him. And we are back with my next guest, Jimmy Graham, and I am so excited to have you here. I have not met you before, but after I've read the information that you present, I honestly feel like, we're twins separated at birth. So welcome, Jimmy, to my program. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Paula. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited about discussing what we're going to discuss.
I do too, because you know what? I think what you and I teach is the most important thing that we can get out there, because it is what's going to change the world at a much higher level than what people are arguing about now on. And I appreciate the fact that you've got this amazing message and that you're getting it out there. So let's kind of go over your background and tell everybody what you used to do and kind of your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. I've always been a professional entertainer, and yes. And it started off, dreams of being a rock star when I was a kid in high school and that sort of thing. And how my journey started is that I started high school, grade 9, at 12 years old.
Oh, very smart.
No.
No, is that not smart?
It was the universe saying, here's the setup for the rest of your life, and here's how we're going to make it happen. Because at the time, I really didn't understand what was really going on with me. Back when I don't know, 5, 6 years old. I started school back in the day when you started actually kindergarten when you were 4 years old.
Oh, okay.
And because my birthday's in December, I was kind of ushered in, and then I turned 5, which was kind of the age of starting school. So I started at an early age. Well, at grade 3, they had extra kids in grade 3. They put us into a grade 4 classroom. And after about 2 weeks, the teacher brought all the parents together and the principal and said, listen, these kids don't know the difference between grade 3 and grade 4, and they're getting all the grade 4 material. Why don't we just make them grade 4s? So I skipped a grade. Right. So that kind of, the universe set me up that way too.
That's
so I started, I started grade 9 and at 12 years old, turned 13 as I was going into it. And not only was I the youngest kid in high school, I was also the shortest kid in high school. And strike 3 was my dad was a teacher at the same high school. So all
you had bully me written all over you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, let's pick on this kid, right? So what happened was I thought, okay, where do bullies not go? And my first answer was the library. They don't hang out in the library. They hang out in the smoking section.
Because they don't know how to read, but that's all.
Well, or they don't care either, right? They don't care. So I got hanging out in the libraries, and I thought, well, since I'm here, I may as well read something. And I started discovering all these books like Think and Grow Rich and
my favorite thing. Yes.
Yeah. Science of Success and the Power of the Subconscious Mind. All these great books. Now at the time,
wow, they had that in your high school library?
They had tons of these books.
That's amazing.
I was probably the only one that ever read them.
They were never checked out, but they were there.
Yeah, pretty much. So I started reading these books, and I thought I had no idea how all this stuff worked, but it was so magical. It was like reading Harry Potter that I thought, well, what the heck? Let's just try stuff.
Uh-huh.
And magical things started happening in my life. Now, at the time, like I said, I mean, I always dreamt about being a rock star, put these little, experiments into place, and I started getting offers for bands. Things just started dropping into my lap, and I thought, wow, there's really something to this. So along my journey, I was sent out on the road. I got an offer to go to Windsor, and then was sent out on the road by a management company, and we started touring.
So were you in a rock band at that point in time?
Oh yeah, and I had hair down to here, and the big Bon Jovi hair, and all that sort of stuff.
When the mullets were in, is that?
Well, no, it was pre-mullet. It was like the big rock and roll hair. Oh yeah, big rock and roll hair. As I started to lose it, then it was turned into the mullet. But so along that journey, I was out on the road. I was living my dream, and
so were you out of high school by now?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. Now I'm about early 20s, I would say, 22, 23 years old. Now, as a musician, I'm reading all music magazines, and one of them was Rolling Stone. Now, in the back of the Rolling Stone magazine, there was a classified section, and in the back of the classified section, it said, "Double your income guaranteed with the power of hypnosis." So I thought, well, I've heard the term, but I don't understand how that works either. So I thought, well, for $15, I'm just going to send away for this program. I got it back. It was a cassette tape, because this is how long ago it was.
Right.
And your listeners and viewers can Google what a cassette tape means.
Well, I know what a cassette tape looks
like. There we go.
I know what a 8-track tape looks like. So there you go.
Yes. So the instructions, all it said was play this tape every night when you go to sleep. So that's what I did. And within 2 weeks, I had doubled my income.
Whoa,
I got an offer
that tape.
Yes. Well, actually, I've got that program on mindpowerprograms.com. So I at that point, I was like, holy crap, there's really something to this too. So I dived into learning everything about hypnosis. I'd already understood like the power of the mind and just visualization and projection. But hypnosis was a brand new level. And I just dived into a ton of hypnosis programs. And from that point, I mean, that changed my life. Like totally changed my life. I still listen to them every single night when I go to bed.
So, but you use what we like, manifestation and visualization, and then you added hypnosis, but while you were still a rock star and an entertainer?
Yes. I was going through all the still playing in bands. I mean, back in the day, you could play 6-7 nights a week. You could make a living at it. And the funny thing is, with that increase your income program, I started getting like day jobs that basically started coming in, and people were like, "Oh yeah, can you do this? Can you do that?" And there was like all these offers just started pouring in.
Okay, and I think that's a really good thing that we need to make sure people understand.
Yes.
You're not going to double your income by just sitting there, but you have to pay attention to the coincidences and take action, because what happens is our subconscious mind is then becoming aware of these other opportunities, and
Yes.
like JimmyG says, he took action. They offered him jobs and he took them. So that's how we double our income, is that we put more energy out there and we get more energy back, right?
Right. And you know what, you really hit something very crucial and critical in what you just said, and that is to consciously become aware of what comes in and not pass it off as coincidence. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. When the universe gives you something, you jump on it right now. You take action.
And sometimes we don't even pay attention to it. I mean, like, I know I drive to work and there's a billboard up and it's been up forever. And I just remember that morning I had a question. I look up and there's the answer on the billboard. We're not even looking for these coincidences until we've internalized it in our subconscious mind. So,
yes.
We now can actually pay attention to things that come into our observation, right? Once you start saying to your subconscious mind, you want to look for them.
Yes. And that's something that's really a key point in the Master Your Matrix book, is it's that conscious awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one thing to implant a suggestion to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will go to work to start connecting you on an energetic level with the answer that's out there. But if you're not consciously aware of it,
Right.
Like I said, you'll just blow it off, or you'll say, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then tomorrow, you've already forgotten about it. And then that's the end of that. The thing that I always teach anybody that, comes to me as well is that if you're blowing this stuff off, when the answers do come to you, basically what you're saying to the universe is that I'm not serious. And then the
Right.
universe,
That's good. Yes.
And you're also saying that to your subconscious mind, right? So two things start working against you. Number one, your subconscious mind says, well, he's not serious, so why should I work, right? Why should I set this up for him if he's not serious about taking action? The universe says exactly the same thing.
Right. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. And if you're not putting it out there, you're getting the negativity in return.
Exactly. Or you're just getting nothing.
Right.
Right.
Because you're
zero
doing
results.
Nothing. Right.
Well, and yeah. So once again, that proves that universe does work, because if you don't do nothing and you don't get any results, well, guess what? That just proved that it works.
I love that you said, after you were reading the books, that it became magical like Harry Potter, because it does become magical once you understand the basics. That I think you're very good at putting out there to the universe, to the people. So I noticed that it says you've been on the stage with so many people: Charlie Sheen, Christy Brinkley, Vanilla Ice. Okay, so is that when you were in your rock band? Is that when you were doing your? Tell us what your next step was after you doubled your income. You're in your rock band. You understand the hypnosis. Tell us.
Sure, there was a lot of transitions before even that took place. The rock band thing, and once again, it's when you step back and start seeing how the universe works and seeing how things come into your life and then disappear from your life, or are taking out of your life as well. You can start saying that, it's not woe is me, this sucks, why is
there's
God
always a
doing
reason, right?
There's always a reason.
When we can connect the dots, we understand that had to happen for this to happen.
Right. Exactly. So what happened is that I ran the live being a rock star musician thing as far as I could take it up until about 1989. Now it's funny how the universe works is because in 1989, I was playing in a band called The Fashion. We were we'd been together about 5 or 6 years. We were the top band in Southern Ontario, and we played this kind of a battle of the bands, but it was set up by Warner Reprise Records, which at the time was one of the biggest record companies in the world, right? And they came down to Windsor. We had 5 bands that were in the showdown, and we won. And Warner was like, wow, like, you guys have it. So we're going to send you to the studio. We're going to do this big demo. We're going to test it, with the audience marketing and blah, 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 and put the big wheels behind it. So
well, that doesn't sound like blah, 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 but okay.
No, I mean, this was the real deal, right?
Yes.
So finally, everything that I had dreamed about came to a culmination, right? And this was it. It was like, finally, here's the offer. Here's the legit business. And boom, we're going to do it. So we went into the studio, we recorded the songs, we did the test pressing, and then Nirvana happened. The band Nirvana. Was the
See, I am not after the Beatles, I kind of Nirvana. Okay, now I know who Nirvana is. My husband didn't know, but okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened was, we were like the hair metal, the Skid Row, Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, that sort of vibe. And then Nirvana came, and then now everything was grunge, right? And we finished the test pressing.
Different than metal.
Well, yes. Yeah. Okay. It is, because back in those days, it was like party all night and party all day type of music. And then it was like, I hate myself and want to kill myself.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's grunge.
So that
that's
was
not
the
a good
difference.
thing. No.
It's not. But we finished off our recording, handed it to Warner Brothers, and they said, wow, great record. Can't use it. Sorry. It's like, hair metal is out, grunge is in. Like, if you want to continue on, then write us a whole bunch of depressing songs, and then we'll talk again.
Oh, wow. So at the time, you probably thought that was devastating, or it was devastating at the time.
It was completely life-changing for me, because everything
you know what? Life-changing in a good way now. It was life-changing in a bad way, you thought at the time, right?
Well, at the time, yes.
Right.
Because, everything I had worked for, dreamed about, envisioned, visualized, everything just collapsed, right? And as anybody would expect. I mean, I went into a severe depression, you know, it was just,
yeah.
what are we going to do? But then I thought, okay, well, listen, I love music. I love to entertain. This is just who I am. So maybe I really don't need to be in a band and still entertain. Because I started, once again, conscious awareness.
Right.
What is actually working right now? And all the clubs went from bands to DJs. All of a sudden, the rave movement happened, right? The DJs were out on stage in front of like 10,000, 15, 20,000 people, just spinning beats and things like that. And I thought, well, I mean,
I can
sure,
spin a record, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
looks pretty
personality,
easy,
right? It's really a personality thing with the DJs.
Well,
and
yeah, and it can be. My thing was that, okay, I've never DJed before in my whole entire life, but if they can do it, I can do it. So let's just put it out there, see what happens. And then I created a whole DJ, like I built up a DJ company called Party Mix Entertainment that became one of the top 5 in Southern Ontario, doing weddings and corporate events and all that sort of stuff. And I made, geez, that was 2001 maybe. And I sold that company in 2012. So I had a long run with that company and was very, very successful at it. Now, once again, I mean, all the stuff that I'm sharing with your listeners and sharing with you, I had no clue on how to do any of it.
Right. And it's a journey, right? At the time, you just have to take the next step. You have to take the next step and then it fills it in, you know?
Well, yeah. And you have to be stupid enough to say yes to everything.
Okay. I'm not sure we should be saying stupid enough. We have to take that next step
it's
because you're going to know in your heart if it's the right thing, right? You checked in a lot with that higher self.
Well, I did. And it's funny that I just came across Richard Branson saying just the other day, and he said, when you are trying to improve your life, say yes to everything and figure it out later. Right.
Okay.
So if somebody, and that's exactly what I did. And I didn't even realize it was not a purposeful thing, but I thought if I say no to the opportunities that came up and that was creating a DJ company, like, how will I know if I can actually pull this off? So I just said yes. I think I answered a DJ ad for a club gig, and that's what got me on my way. And I walked into this club. There had to have been 200 or 300 people, and the DJ I was replacing, he said, "Okay, here's the microphone. Here's your box of cassettes and 45s. Play this, play that. Here's a song list. See ya." And I was like, "Wait." He said, "No, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out." And I did. I mean, I had no choice because the guy just left, and I'm looking at it.
He picked you out of the crowd?
No. They were looking for an extra DJ in this club.
Oh, okay.
And it just so happened that the shift that I started on, he was working a shift kind of before, because that's when like clubs were going from 6 o'clock till 2 in the morning or 1 or 2 in the morning. Right. And they'd split. Right. So he just said, "Here's what you do. Here's the buttons to push. See ya." And I was going, well, I either sink or swim right now. And then, 12 years later, I sold the company. So from that point.
Tell me what happened in 2012.
Sure. 2012. Well, here's what happened. Probably it was around 2009. I really got tired of doing weddings and,
I bet
corporate events
and
and dealing with brides and moms of brides and all that sort of stuff. It was a lesson in human relations, that's for sure. But I just got tired of it, and I thought, okay, I built my life up to the point that I'm completely debt free. I own everything. I don't owe anybody anything. I'm in a position to travel, and I want to travel. So I put it out to the universe. I put this exactly. I said, okay, I want to travel, see the world. I want to entertain. I want to be on stage, and I want somebody else to pay for it. And I had no idea what that was, because I already knew that the music scene, you could no longer make any sort of living at it, right? The DJ scene was really getting so saturated that people were doing DJ events for like $50 and things like that. So that was really being oversaturated, and you couldn't make money at that either. And I was just tired of it. And I thought, well, what else can I do? I had no clue. And I put it out to the universe. Now, this was probably my first real big test about manifestation, visualization,
Oh,
putting things out
back
there.
up, back up. You got in a rock band.
Okay.
You were visualizing all this stuff from the very beginning, right?
Right.
You visualized
Yes.
as the DJ, you visualized you going up this ladder. So, you know, we may be doing it in a bigger picture kind of thing at some point in time, but you've been doing that your whole life, right?
Right.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this was the biggest test is because up until this point, I got so good at it that I would throw a thought out there and it would just show up.
Oh, I love it.
Right. And it would be anything from the smallest little thing to big things. But I did learn along the way that usually the bigger the things, the longer it kind of takes to manifest and come into your life. But it really didn't take this long. And what I mean by that, I started thinking about this in 2009. I did not get my answer until about February of 2010. And here's the lesson that I learned from that you can't give up on it.
Oh, good.
Because I can't remember who told me this, but there's a certain law of the universe that says you can't have a thought and a desire without the actual answer of it being also present in the universe for you to bring it in, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how far out it goes, it's out there. If you think it first, it's already out there for you to get.
Absolutely. And there's a law of gestation that says it takes some things a little bit longer to gestate than it does others. We have to have patience with that particular thing, you know.
Yes.
If it's out there in the universe, it's drawing it to us. We just have to be patient.
Yes. And that was my big lesson with that, because I'm not a man of much patience. I like things as like, if I get an idea, I'm like, I want to pounce on it. I want to go for it. I want to jump on it and just get things rolling. Right. And in this situation, I had my DJ company, things were rolling along. It was successful, but I just wasn't happy. And when I threw it out there, I was like, okay, well, I'll get my answer in maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months at max. Well, a year and 2 months later,
wow.
Right? By this time, I'm starting to get a little frustrated. I'm going, all right, God, what's going on here? Are we moving this along, or what's going on? And so I'm
you got to have faith in the outcome, right? That's a big thing.
Well, yes.
Yeah, you got to have faith.
You still have to have faith and belief. So I'm cruising along. I'm just killing some time one night on the internet. And all of a sudden, here's a Google ad that says, learn how to be a stage hypnotist. And I was like, there it is. There it is.
Wow.
There it is. Yes. And here was the thing. I thought immediately, I've seen a couple of hypnosis shows, love them. I thought, number two, I knew the guys because I went and introduced myself. And so I actually talked to them, and I knew like it paid well. Oh. I knew that these guys were doing shows all across North America. So there was my three things. I could entertain, I could be paid well for it, and
could travel.
And I could travel exactly on somebody else's dime. And I thought, perfect. So I immediately, I went to the website, I filled in my application, I flew down to Vegas because there was a training coming up within about 3 or 4 weeks. And I flew down to Vegas, got trained by one of the biggest guys in the industry, and then got trained by another guy. Now, here's how cool this works, and here's how the universe will answer you. So I know I've got 4 weeks to this Vegas training. By the time I got to Vegas in 4 weeks, I'd already booked 12 shows. I went around to every bar. I went around to anybody
without having any experience or any certification.
I had never done a show. I'd never hypnotized anybody in my life, and I had booked 12 shows.
That's gutsy, dear. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, once again, it's like I love to say, just be stupid enough just to say yes to everything, and then figure it out later.
No, the universe loves it when you're bold.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Bold.
What favor? Well, favors the bold. The universe favors the bold, whatever that saying is.
Exactly. So I thought, okay, the training, just to kind of do a little backstory here, the training in Las Vegas was not exactly learn how to hypnotize people. Now, the process of hypnosis, and we can get into this if you like, is very, very simple. So long as you've got a willing participant that wants to go into hypnosis.
Right.
Right. But that training was how to build a stage hypnosis business, how to market it, who to market it to, everything you need to know to actually build a business.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, well, I still really don't know how to hypnotize people or actually.
That's kind of a small fact
Right.
there, but okay.
Yeah, it's something, a little bit of thing that you might want to know.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So once again, I hit the internet and I started investigating hypnotists, stage
Uh-huh.
hypnotists. And I thought, well, I need to learn how to produce a show. So who's the best out there? And I came across this guy, Attila Kuhn, hypnotist Attila, who he was going by. And I watched his video, and here he was in front of about 6,000 people at, I believe it was the Calgary Stampede, inviting people up. People were just running up to the stage. They'd walk up on stage, he'd look them right in the eye, and boom, they'd be laying on the floor. And I'm thinking, oh, he's the guy, right? He's the guy. So I go on his contact information and I phone him up. And now his contact information at the time on the website said Calgary, that he was based out of. And I said, listen, I said, I'm interested in you mentoring me and taking one of your courses. He said, well, where do you live? I said, Windsor, Ontario. He said, oh, I'm just about 5 minutes from there. I said, 5 minutes? I said, you're in Calgary. He said, no, I just moved. I said, where did you move? He said, LaSalle, Ontario, which is 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, wow.
I know. And so I said, listen, I want to meet you. I want to be trained by you, blah, blah, blah. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm sitting in my office. He said, meet me at the Tim Hortons, which was about 3 minutes from my house, in 20 minutes. And we sat there, we had about a 3-hour conversation. He took me under my wing and taught me everything he knew.
Wow.
And he was like, he's a master. He's retired now, but he's like one of the biggest stage hypnotists out there.
So tell me how you got from being a stage hypnotist to understanding the law of attraction, to understanding our subconscious mind, understanding this. Tell us, because that was in 2010, 2011. Tell us that journey on how you got to what your book is about, how we literally change the universe by changing us, all the powers within us. So
sure. Well, once again, I mean, it gets back to starting to find all these things like Think and Grow Rich and Science of the Subconscious Mind in high school. Once I found those books, and then once I started delving into hypnosis program tapes that you just play at night to program your mind,
right.
I was always a student of excuse me, the power of the mind, so to speak.
Right.
The term law of attraction started becoming trendy when The Secret came out and that sort of thing. So I dived into that, and I was already knowledgeable. So I was able to take everything that I knew up to the point that I started becoming a stage hypnotist. And when I decided to become a stage hypnotist, not only, like I said, did I want to travel, be paid for it, and be on stage, but I thought, you know what, I don't want to just be an entertainer. I want to actually use this to go out and demonstrate to whatever audience I'm in front of how powerful everybody's mind truly is. And this is part of my stage hypnotist show demonstration.
Wow.
So I make it really fun, and the majority of work that I do is all for corporate clients. So it's a very clean, it's not a Las Vegas show where people are humping chairs or anything like that.
Which is a good thing to know.
Yes. Well, I like to make sure that my checks get cashed on Monday, right?
Yeah,
so it's a very clean, it's a very positive.
So you would take your hypnotist show into corporations?
Yes.
And along with that, teach the power of the mind, Think and Grow Rich,
yes.
those things?
Yes. Okay. So what that's transitioned into, once I started doing stage hypnotist shows, I concentrated on the corporate market specifically.
I love that.
Excuse me. I still do a lot of school shows and fairs and festivals, that sort of thing. But the majority of work is the corporate market. And now I'm able to not only go in and entertain, like be an entertainment factor for, say, their AGMs or their client appreciation banquets or staff appreciation banquets, but when they're doing, say, a 2 or 3 day employee training weekend or that sort of thing, well, they bring me in as the entertainment, but during the day, now they're bringing me into as workshops for motivational power of the mind presentations and keynotes. Yes. So I'm really able to take all of this experience, all this life experience, and share it with all these great, wonderful people, and the joy of after finishing off a presentation and having people come up and go, hey, I know you mentioned that book. Can I buy one?
Oh, that's
Right?
great.
Yes.
Well, say, what I think is amazing is all the steps you have to take to get the foundation. And you don't know that you needed to be a rock star and a DJ and all those things, but all of those gave you the self-confidence and the information and the belief that you could do it. And so all of those things weave together to get you to where you are now, to get you to where you
Yes.
are, to be able to have this message to help change the world, right? And that's
That's
people get really frustrated, and you guys are in the middle of your journey. We're getting our foundation to be able to get to that next level and to find your voice, because it's taken you a while to get to this, but what a great voice you have on it.
Yes, and that's really the thing that I love to share the most with my audiences, is the fact that there's whatever career or vocation you go into. I mean, there's training programs to do that. I mean, if you want to be a plumber, there's a skill set. You know, you can go to a trade school, then you apprentice, and people will tell you how to or teach you how to change a tap and fix a toilet and that
Right.
sort of thing. But the magic behind just having that knowledge to get up every single day and go, yeah, this is going to be awesome, everything's going to work out, and you can project it and then actually have it happen, makes life so much more fun
And
and
powerful,
easier and
right?
and powerful
Powerful.
and enjoyable, as opposed to, oh God, it's Monday again
And
and
all those
I
people
gotta
are
go
going to be
punch the
mean to me
clock.
at work, and it's not my
Yes.
fault, and I'm not going to do that. Well, one of the
Yes.
things I love that you have in your book is that you meld science and spirituality, science and the law of attraction, because pretty much, I mean, everything I teach is based on science because it goes to their belief system. You know, as an
Yes.
attorney for 40 years, I knew how to convince people of facts, but you have to have facts that they can actually believe in. And science is
Mm-hmm.
the bottom line fact for everyone. And I know that's one of the things you use is the science behind mindfulness and the power of the mind, and you know, all the amazing books. So you marry those two. You marry science, well, and hypnotist, and I don't know if I've ever seen the word spirituality, but that's pretty much what it is. We're just tapping
It
into
is. Oh,
this
yes,
higher
definitely.
self. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And one of the other messages that I do like to share too is that so many people come into, and the law of attraction term has been used to
I
death.
know, and I know,
The
and it
secret
does kind of have a
and
but
well,
but
yes,
but if
yes,
people really understood it, it's a secondary law. The law of vibration is our primary law because we have to learn to change our frequency, our energy, you
mhm.
know, and our subconscious mind. But yeah, I know the law of attraction kind of, but that's our show. So
Well, yes, yes, and I really think that, I mean, the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, the work that everybody else is doing, that in this sense of sharing all this knowledge is to transition people's beliefs as this is just nothing but woo-woo fairy dust,
right,
right?
right.
To this is actual power right here, right between our ears,
Based on
that we
science.
have based on science. Exactly.
Neuroplasticity, you know, biology, Bruce Lipton's biology of belief, how we affect our cells. I mean, there's so much science behind it now.
Yes, I believe it was Dr. Joe
Oh
Dispenza.
my God, one of my favorite
Yes,
people. Yes.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and it was him that actually did the brain scans and had people actually think thoughts, and you could see the synaptic connections
Oh yeah,
happening
he does the
in
brain
the
at all
brain.
of his group things. He does that. I mean, he literally has people that have MS, that have epileptic seizures, and he wires them up. And from the beginning of his 5-day seminar to the end, he teaches you how to control your brain waves. And it's amazing how there's documentation, right? He's
Oh
got
yes.
neuroscientists there. He's got doctors there, and it literally changes their brainwaves and how their brains work. And that's what you and I teach. And when we delve into it, you know, the secret was such a good first impression. It got so many people to
Hmm.
at least understand that there's a genre. But it was, and I don't want to say superficial, but it was pretty superficial, because it wasn't telling you how your brain works, how we really program your brain. It's just, you know, saying you order from a catalog and you sit there and wait. But we have to
Yes.
learn to internalize it and understand that we're attaching to the universe and those kind of things. So
Hmm. Well, and I think that was really the big critical thing that everybody said. Well, I tried this secret
Right.
stuff and
And
it
it doesn't
doesn't work.
Right.
And they'd sit on their couch and go, I got a new car. I've got a new car. I've got
Yeah.
a new car. And then go look in the driveway and the car's not there.
Right.
And they
You
go,
know,
well,
and
this stuff doesn't work.
And it goes exactly back to what we were talking about. You have to pay attention to coincidences, right? You have to
Yes.
say yes to whatever comes out. You have to get out of the house and off the couch and go out and do something, whether you
Yes.
know what the next step is to do. I mean, Martin Luther King says you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to see the next step. We just have to figure out what a step is, what another step is, which is what you've done your whole life. And look at to where it's brought you and how many people you've been able to help and to offer new exciting ideas on how to take their lives to the next level.
Yes.
So let's talk about your new book, Master Your Matrix. For those of you on the radio, I'm showing it, I'm holding it up. And if you're on YouTube, did it just come out in 2019, 2018? 2018.
Well, 18 into 19, there was kind of like the way with bestseller publishing, they do a soft release and then they do a full releases, which is what we're doing right now. So,
and I'm assuming you're on Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
you're on Amazon. So, okay.
Yep.
So talk to me about this because I loved it. I go over the chapters. I went, oh my God, I teach that. I love how you hit on everything. But let's talk about, you're talking about the Matrix. Let's talk about, I don't watch the Matrix movies, but tell us what you mean by that.
I firmly believe, and once again, anytime I'm doing a presentation, I always preface it by, I'm going to speak on what I know and what I've experienced, right? My belief, especially now after everything that I've been through and experienced, is that we are always creating our own reality. And I think this is kind of a common theme in everybody that's teaching any sort of work like this anyway. But to really start to understand that thoughts become things,
yes,
that is so key. And to become conscious of what you're thinking about, because if you keep, I started,
awareness is huge. People don't know because we're on autopilot 95% of our day. I noticed that you've got your 5% and 95%. We're on autopilot 95% of our day because our subconscious mind is controlling it. So we don't even know what we're thinking.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And that once again gets back to the one of the critical messages in the book is to start using the conscious mind. So many of my hypnotherapy and colleagues in the hypnosis field will always say, and this is such a common saying, the subconscious mind is the most powerful mind that we have. And I would vehemently disagree with that. The conscious mind is the most powerful, because the conscious mind, if you're thinking about anything, about whether to take an action, whether not to take an action, then you're basically programming your subconscious mind to start making that a habit.
Well,
right?
Your conscious mind is the only time you can make a decision. It's
Exactly. It's your decisive
You can decide
mind.
what news show to watch. You can decide to turn off the TV. You can make a decision.
Turn left, turn
right. I will
right.
disagree with you that our subconscious mind determines so many of the things we do all day long. We're not even aware that we do it, which is why you're using hypnotism. Because we drive to work and we get to work and we don't even realize we were driving because we're on this subconscious mind. And what we have to do is we have to take control of that conscious mind much more during the day.
Well, here's maybe you've made my point. Because
I talk until I make somebody's point. So
let's take this scenario then. Okay, when you first got in a car and were handed the keys by your parents, and they said, your mom or your dad said, listen, we're going to teach you how to drive. You are in a very conscious state.
Absolutely.
You are conscious about everything. Right?
Right.
So therefore, every decision that you do, every thought that you have is in a conscious state of mind.
Correct.
So you continue to make those conscious decisions while you're driving until they become routine. Then now they're already
implanted. Which is a habit, right?
Right.
Which is a paradigm. Which is, dear, what our subconscious mind is. Our subconscious mind is just a multitude of habits that we automatically fall back on because they've been internalized into us, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. But they were programmed
absolutely
to start with.
Yes.
Due to a decision in the conscious mind.
Right. So we can use our conscious mind to reprogram our subconscious.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what my message really is in the
Yes.
book of Master Your Matrix, is to become present, to become conscious, to become aware of what the heck all this nonsense going on that you've already allowed into your subconscious mind, and start going, do I really want to do that?
Yeah,
Like, what was I thinking?
what do I want to believe? You know, I mean, one of the things you
Right.
just hit on is staying in the present moment, because the present moment is the only time anything happens, right?
Mhm.
It's the only time we can make a decision. It's the only time we can decide that we want to be in our conscious mind. It's the only time we can think of a thought. It's the only time we can take an action. So we have to figure out a way to constantly interrupt our subconscious programming and stay in that conscious mind, right? Stay in
Right.
that present moment, because that's the only time we have power or control over everything, right?
Well, it was fun. This just reminded me of I rarely work with people like on smoking and weight loss. I mean, I delved into it a little bit just to help people out on a personal level, but I was working with a smoker. She was sitting in the chair, and I said, so listen, I said, so you smoke, right? She said, yep. I said, are you addicted? Oh yeah, I'm totally addicted. So you can't go without smoking. Is that correct? I said, she goes, yep, can't do it. I said, okay, well, what happens when you go to bed at night? She had this quizzical look on, and I said, what happens when you go to bed at night? She goes, well, I go to sleep. I said, how long do you sleep? I don't know, 6, 7, 8 hours. I said, okay. Well, so you're so addicted to cigarettes, but yet as soon as you hit the pillow, then you're not addicted to cigarettes because you don't smoke for at least 6 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden the flip started,
Right,
the switch started
right,
flipping, right?
Uh-huh.
Then I went a step further and I said, well, listen, I said, why aren't you smoking now? She said, well, I'm in your house. I said, yeah, so I thought you were addicted. If somebody was addicted, they would not care if they were in
Right,
my
uh-huh.
house, they would smoke. And I said, well, why don't you light one up? She says, I don't want to. I said, why not? She said, because I'm in your house and I respect your house. I said,
So you have a choice over
so
that, right?
yeah, I said, so who's in control now? She goes, oh, I get it. Never smoked again. We didn't even do a hypnosis session.
Really?
She,
Well,
once I gave her the power back of making a conscious decision, she was like, oh, so I get to decide who's driving the bus? Oh, okay,
yeah,
easy
people
peasy.
don't,
Never
they don't
smoked
even
again.
know it's up for discussion that they can drive the bus.
Exactly.
You know? They don't know
Exactly.
that. Yeah. So
Yep.
when you say master your matrix, master your mind, is that another word for mind? Is that just your
Yes.
conscious mind? Is that okay?
I think the word matrix, I mean, it's kind of a trendy term and it made a great title. But
it was alliteration, right? It kind
yes,
of, yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes. But at the same time, I mean, the matrix can just stand for you're mastering your own reality. And once again,
well, that's true. That's true.
It gets back to being so long, the
Because
more
we
you
all
can
have
stay.
our own reality. We think everything's the same. We think it's that, but it isn't. It's how we're viewing things. It's I have a crystal that's in my east window. So when I get up in the morning, I see all these rainbows all over the room.
Oh, nice.
So this morning I'm thinking, okay, so it's the same light that's coming in, but it depends on how it hits the crystal, what it's projecting onto my room. I know this is probably simple, but it just hit me this morning that our minds, our subconscious minds, are the crystal. And so it's the same energy. It's the same source. It's God. It's the universe. And it's all coming through our minds, but it depends on how we project it out to what is our environment and how we respond to it. And we can change that. I mean, the power is huge, right? The power to be able to say, I consciously want to project something else. People don't think that. They think everything is the same and there's nothing they can do. There's 7 billion different realities out there. I love the red and blue pill. There's 7 different billion, and we can choose a different one for ourselves.
Exactly.
So give some people some ideas how they can do that.
Well, the first thing is that, and I do have a goal setting section in the book, and
at
I
the
know
end
that,
at the end of each chapter?
Well, there's some instructions and some to-dos at the end of each chapter. Just to kind of put all the lessons within the chapter into use in your life. But there is a section on goal setting, and I know this term's been used to death, the SMART goals.
I know.
But
I saw
really,
you use that as an acronym. You use SMART as an acronym. I thought that was smart.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But it's one of those things that, once again, just like law of attraction, everybody has this preconceived notion of the airy fairy goal. Oh my God, don't talk to me about goal setting. I know I'm supposed to write down my goals. But the truth is that the people that write down the goals actually are the ones that are the most successful in life. The ones that just go, well, I know I'm supposed to get up in the morning because I know I'm supposed to be at work by 9, and I know I'm supposed to work till 4:30, and then I'm supposed to pick up the kids and blah, 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 blah. And they never get past that and think outside the box about, what do you want to do with your life? Then they just continue that hamster wheel cycle for the rest of your life.
But so many people say, I don't know what I want to do. Or even if I knew what I wanted to do, I can't do it. I've got to go to work. I've got to make money. But when they realize it's a thought, it's just a different thought that we can all choose at any point in time when we're in the present moment. And that thought in our conscious mind is what we can choose, because you hit it on the head. Thoughts become things. I don't know if you know who Mike Dooley is. He sends out notes from the universe. He's a guru, but I mean, that's kind of his things. Thoughts become things. Choose the good ones. I mean, and that is where our power lies. We don't have to find another job necessarily. We don't have to go another way to work. We just have to realize we can just think different thoughts, right?
Well, when I'm doing a live presentation, and I get those questions too, it's like, well, I don't know what I want to do, and I don't have time to write down goals, and I'm so busy. How would I fit anything else in? And my reply to that is that, okay, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in, center yourself, and realize that you could die tomorrow.
That's not what I thought you were going to say, but okay.
Boy, talk about a reframe and a paradigm shift, right? And they go, ooh, wait a minute. He could be right? Well, and I thought, do you want to spend the rest of today doing the same old crap? Or would you rather just go, you know what? I could die tomorrow. So maybe for an hour, I'm just going to go, like we've got snow up here in Canada. Let's go tobogganing. Let's just go. Let's just do something. Or
just go outside and breathe and look at the pretty scenery.
Let's go make a snowman. Let's do something fun.
Well, I use the analogy of the Groundhog Day movie. How it's the same place. Great. It's this. It's the same set of people. It's the same circumstances. He's limited by the same environment. But and that's what we all think we are. We think we have no other choices. But when we choose that, we change, that we decide we're going to react differently at this particular time, that's where the power comes in. It's a decision, like you said, to stay in our conscious mind, to make a different decision, because we're all in the same environment. But when Bill Murray decided he was going to learn to play the piano a little bit at a time, learn French a little bit at a time, it changed him, which changed the whole environment. And that's where our power comes. That's where people, I don't care if you have less than 5 minutes a day. You're absolutely right. Writing in cursive is huge. I tell people it engages the frontal lobe. Oh, yes. Write your goals in cursive. It doesn't take that long. Or write one goal, or write one emotion that you want to feel that day. I want to feel hopeful, Write one thing, because that stays in your conscious mind. You're kind of, saying that. I write on my palm. If I want to remember something, I write on my palm, because that makes me conscious, I like that. Right? Sure. I'm looking at it, I go, okay, hopeful was my word of the day. So then I reach for hopeful.
You just hit on something too, that I really think that people, they go, well, I know I should write goals. I don't want to, or don't have time. Mm-hmm. And those are, we all know that they're just excuses.
Right. Absolutely.
But two things that I find is that, one, when you mention goal setting to somebody, they immediately compare their goal to something like, I should be a millionaire.
Yeah, they make one up because they think it's supposed to be bigger.
Right. Or they compare themselves and go, yeah, what am I supposed to be, a millionaire? Is that my goal? Or it's just something that's just so kind of vague, that they don't realize that their goals are their goals. And it could be, well, hey, you know what? I think I want to build birdhouses for the rest of my life.
Right.
Might not be everybody's goal, but if that's your thing, then that's your goal. Go for it. Just do it. Right. The other thing is that, and this is something that I've really, it's become more evident with so many people that I see, and so many people that I work with, so many people that I talk to, is that with goals, come responsibilities.
Yes.
And
With
now
great
in this day
power
and age,
comes great responsibility.
exactly.
Yes.
And I swear to God, and you might see it too, that in society now more than ever, no one wants to be responsible for anything.
Well, they
So
think
if
somebody
you,
else owes it to them. They think,
well, not only that, but they see more and more in society that once you step up and you are now responsible for your actions, well, guess what? Now you've got a lot of heat, and there's a lot of people that are going to be gunning for you to shoot you down. That's
wow, I'm
that's
not
something
sure.
that I see
Oh,
a
I don't
lot.
know.
I see that a lot because I see it's kind of like the crabs
Okay, you
and
people out there,
crabs.
don't think that, because we want you to be responsible.
Well, no, but it's kind of one of those crabs in a bucket mentality that, and I see it all the time. I mean, I see it in circles of friends that I love dearly, but they are afraid to step out, because if they step out, well, guess what? And Tony Robbins made a point of this, that when you start elevating yourself, there becomes separation from the people that know and love you the most, right?
And I got to tell you, that's because we're in a different vibration, right? We're vibrating at a higher frequency.
Yes.
And you know what? You're going to want to vibrate away from those people. And it's just a law. It's a law of vibration that the two frequencies can't go together. And you're not being mean, and you wish them well, but we need to become the very best possible us that we can, and not be tied down by other people, because you're right, that they're going to make them feel uncomfortable. It's going to make them feel sad. But
yeah. Here's something that I've learned along my journey too, is that you just can't. I firmly believe now that there's the people that know this stuff and elevate it and gravitate to it, and there's just simply the people that don't.
Right. And that's okay too.
And that's okay. That's okay. But it's been a hard lesson for me to learn. And I know other people that are in the same realm that we
want
are in.
everybody. We want everybody.
Well, yeah, because,
it's life-changing.
I know. Well, and not only that, but you're probably the same way too. It's like, come on, it's so easy. It's so much fun. Just come on. Let's go, right?
And I am amazed. But think about it. I mean, only 5% of the population really makes all the money. Only 5% of the population are probably ready for this, but there's enough out there, there's a critical mass,
yes.
Malcolm, whatever his name is, in Tipping Point, that it takes only 2 to 3% of the population to literally understand something for there to be a tipping point. It's called critical mass. So if we can get this message out to just 2 to 3% of the 5%, we're good. That's my passion. I know that's your passion.
Yes, it is, because and once again, I mean, this really leads me back to this analogy that I've learned as well, is that I know by spreading this message, not everybody's going to get it.
Right.
In fact, probably only like you said, 2 or 3% of people are actually going to get it. But if that's all that I accomplish in this lifetime, then I'm ecstatic about that.
We can only do what we can do, and we're planting seeds. We have no idea what the seeds we plant might do next week or next year. So tell us how people can work with you.
Well, as far as working personally, I'm not really doing that at this time. And the reason for that is that with my touring schedule, doing the corporate work, doing the presentations, doing the keynotes and the workshops, I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know how much you're into astrology. Sagittarius are the big picture guys, right?
Okay.
They're the big picture is like, I want to be out there, and I want to speak to the masses as opposed to the one-on-ones. So that's really, really my thing. Now, that being said, for anybody that does want to work with me, I would suggest that if you have a group of people, like say you're running a corporation, you have a sales team that really needs some motivation and really needs to understand, and you'd like them to understand how powerful their minds are so they can actually become more effective and better salespeople, then that's the realm, and that's the work that I am open to doing.
Well, I know one thing is, if they buy your book, it's pretty much spelled out. It gives them things to do. It gives them action steps. So that will help them understand this on a one-to-one basis, right? So your book is available on Amazon, Master Your Matrix by Jimmy Graham, Graham. Is there a website that people can get a hold of you at? The ones that want to work with you on a corporate basis, on the Sagittarius basis?
Sagittarius basis, the grand view.
Yeah,
the grand view. Yep. Mindpowerpresentations.com. My company is called Mind Power Presentations.
Okay.
and mindpowerpresentations.com. There's a contact form
Okay.
there, phone number. There's also a link to go straight to Amazon to pick up the book. And that's the thing that I love working with corporate, because corporate, especially the corporate realm, everybody is so by the book, right? And they're finally starting to realize that the last kind of final frontier that they have to go from where they are in a corporate setting and a corporate platform to where whatever that next level is, because everybody, especially, yes. And the big buzzword in corporate is we all need to be peak performance, performers out there. Well, the problem is that peak performance, you can only be at peak performance for so long before you burn out.
Right.
My flip on that,
unless you learn to change what you're teaching.
And here's where my flip on that is that let's forget about peak performance. Let's start embracing unlimited potential.
I love that.
Because once you understand that this up here, your mind is nothing but an unlimited potential, then now there's no such thing as the sky's the limit, because everything it's limitless.
I love it. Unlimited potential. Yeah. I love it. Well, yeah. JimmyG, I so much appreciate you being on here. I love the fact that we've gotten to know each other. I would like to stay in touch and see if there's other stuff we can do to work together. Yes. So, and it's called, tell me again, Mind Power Program? No, Mind Power Program?
Well, actually, if we can give that a little plug too. My main site is mindpowerpresentations.com.
Okay.
My mindpowerprograms.com is actually a website that has digital downloads of so many self-hypnosis guided meditation programs, everything from weight loss to stop smoking to make more money. Well, increase your income. It's on there.
Woohoo!
Yep. So, yes.
Okay,
there's
so that's a great thing. That's a good action step for people out there to go to mindpowerprograms.com, and you can get the hypnotic suggestions that he's talking about. And it is life-changing, because you're making a decision in your conscious mind to put that into our subconscious mind to change everything, right?
Exactly. And they're so easy to use. I mean, everybody sleeps 6 to 8 hours a night. Why not use that time to reprogram your mind for success?
I love it. I'm so excited. So thank you so much for being here. I want you back on my program. I'd love to find out how you're doing. And we will be right back. And we are back. He was fun. He was informative. He has so much energy. He has so much information to give. I would recommend that you read his book. He's got a website, which is mindpowerprograms.com, that we can download all of his hypnosis programs. And I am going there after we get done, and I'm going to see what he's got, because I love to add different things to what I teach, because this is my passion. Me getting this information out to you to get more awareness to people. If you are listening to this, you probably understand some basics, but whatever we can do to get this information out will change everything. It's already changing everything. There's a shift in consciousness that's coming. And I'm just so happy to be a small part of that, to be able to give you as much information from as many people as I possibly can find that will resonate with you, that will help you take your life to the next level. One of the things he talked about, the subconscious mind. We do have control over that once we understand the mechanics of how our mind works. And we have to have control over our thoughts. And the only time we can do that is when we are in our conscious mind, in the present moment, in the now. And that's one of the big things I teach in my program, the F.A.S.T Path. Anybody that wants to talk to me about it, please get a hold of me at Paula at lawyofattraction.com. It's a great program. It is life-changing. It is mind-altering. There are other programs. I've got Thinking to Results, which is the Napoleon Hill and Bob Proctor one. It is phenomenal for corporations. It is so impressive on what the information they offer to people and businesses. That's something I'd like for you to think about. I have a mastermind that I would love to have people involved if they would like to do that. Right now, we are reading The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. So there's a lot of fun things that we're doing. My book is on Amazon, The Lawyer and the Law of Attraction.com. It's available on Amazon. And my website is lawyofattraction.com. I'd love to hear from you. There's a contact information there. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this information that we put out is helpful. I know it is transformational. I know if you would take just a moment to listen to this again, or take notes, or pay attention to something that resonated with you and go do some research on it. I have a great resource on my lawofattraction.com website. It's my reading site. It's my book list. There's some great books on there. If you want to start reading some other things, go to JimmyG's website, get his book, get my book. It's a great first step. You know, we don't need to see the whole staircase. We just have to know what the next step is. And the next step is get off the couch and go do something and have a great day. Have a fun day. Be in joy. Be in happiness, because that's the frequency that we want to project out. That's the frequency we want to get back. And as Ram Dass always said, and I'm sure he's saying it in heaven, we are all just walking each other home. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining Paula Kidd Casey on Lawyer of Attraction radio show. For more information about Paula programs and her book, please visit www.lawyerofattraction.com. Until next week, may you experience the magic of manifesting genuine abundance.